So hi everyone, I'm Deb and I'm here to support with tech tonight. Thank you all so much for taking the time to join us in what we create here together, a welcoming community, Big Leap Bridge. I am so thrilled that we're all here together. So just a few logistics before we get started. Just a reminder that we are recording. Keep a pen and paper handy to jot anything down that pops up for you. Glenn will make space for questions during the call. And if you are willing, please turn your video on so you can participate fully in the call. We do just love seeing your beautiful faces. So I now have the pleasure to welcome our festooning facilitator, Glenn. Glenn, I experience you not simply as an open invitation to play, but as play itself. Your bright light and joyous essence radiate from you in a way that is powerfully magnetic. You are a genius, open-hearted love vessel, and I feel so excited to learn and play together tonight. Welcome.
Yum, yum, yum. Oh, yummy, Deb and Michelle. Thank you so much. I fully receive all that yumminess. So thank you. And thank you both for being my support this evening. And also, I see a few really fun people in this group. Just a few, like how many people do we have here? 33 people so far. Just 33 fun people tonight. So before we get started, I'd like for each and every one of us to just really tune in and presence ourselves. You can go ahead and close your eyes if you'd like to. Yeah. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Yeah. Notice if you're sitting on a chair, how your beautiful butt feels against the cushion of your chair. And how your delightful arching back feels against the back of the chair. And your dancing feet, how they feel against the floor. Yeah, take another inhale. And exhale. And feel free to make some sounds, like sounds. Take another inhale. And exhale. Another inhale. And exhale. There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us this evening. I see we have people from Vegas. Sabrina's joining us all the way from India. Woo woo. Hi, Sabrina. We also see Pamela from Diamond Bar. Kay. Oh, hi, Kay. Kay actually is one of my co-chairs for our diversity, equity, and inclusion team at Hub International. And I see Nancy too, who is our goddess operations guru in our office. I see my friend Yancy from Puerto Rico, Cheryl, who she's my little cousin. I've known her since we were babies. Thank you all for joining this evening. I see Patrick. Hi, Patrick. Haven't seen you in a while. Hi. Yeah, so thank you all for joining us this evening. And tonight, I'm so excited to share with you the magic of inspiration and how I experience inspiration as like a magical energy or magical force, and how it allows me to tap into my inner wellspring, where all these beautiful creative possibilities lie. So what is inspiration? Inspiration is the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially something to do, like something creative. And yeah, I'm just picking this up from like the dictionary online. And inspiration is also a sudden, brilliant, creative, and timely idea. So tonight, what we're going to discover is that inspiration is not just a mental stimulation, but it is also a full body experience. So by a show of hands, how many of you have felt inspired before? Yeah, Great. Perhaps something that you've read. Oh, I see a thumbs up. Thanks, MT. Perhaps something that you've read, some books, poetry, some memes. And also I invite you to type something in the chat box of, something that inspires you. Could it be something that you've watched online or on TV, perhaps like a TED Talk? I love TED Talks. I can watch TED Talks all day long. And I also love Oprah's Super Soul Sunday. I find those to be such, there you go, Elizabeth. I feel very inspired when I watch Oprah's Super Soul Sunday. And I do see that Yancy mentioned nature. Yeah, nature is very inspirational. Yes, Darlene, Obama, podcasts. Thank you, Cheryl, definitely. The ocean, athletes. Yeah, speaking of athletes, definitely people such as like Brene Brown, Louise Hay. I mean, can't get enough of Louise Hay, especially Gay and Katie Hendricks, like the founders of our beautiful foundation and also the Hendricks Institute. Photography, yes, Pua from Vegas, definitely. Perhaps it could be your mom, your teacher, friends, family members, colleagues. So as you can see, like inspiration comes in so many different forms. And from my experience, we often look for inspiration like outside, that somehow inspiration is like somewhere out there, perhaps outside this room that I'm in, or, like what Yancy said, definitely nature, and what Deb also said, nature, something out there. And during these times, I find it to be very challenging to feel inspired, with the upcoming election that's happening here in the United States in a few months. And also with the recent passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and also with all the social injustice that's taking place within the United States and around the globe. So tonight, we will explore and learn and experience the many feelings, the many facets of feeling inspiration. And we're also going to discover multiple ways on how you can use inspiration as a fuel to experience more aliveness, more connection, and create like this beautiful vibrance in your life. And also, we're going to create new stories that bring joy in our lives and become a source of inspiration, not just for yourselves, but for other people. So are y'all game? Yes? Awesome. Great. I love see thumbs up. So as we get started to go off on our exploration, I'd like for you all to check in with yourselves. Are you willing to have fun tonight? Yeah, great. And are you also willing to explore ways in creating magic through inspiration that generates fun, not just for yourself, but for those around you? Especially with there are 35 people in this call, so there's a lot of magic that's brewing. So before we jump in and dive into the pool of magical deliciousness, I'm curious, what are old stories, or could be current stories, do you have about inspiration? And if you do have some old stories, I invite you to type it into the chat box. Like one of my favorite current stories is nothing is very inspiring right now because of COVID. I'm stuck here at home. I can't see friends. I can't do anything. I'm just stranded here. And plus, here's a one that came up a while back too. Who am I to think that I'm inspirational? That one I just like laugh at. No, and Yancy also shared in here that there's a limited supply of inspiration. Yeah, very limited of supply. Just a little bit, right, Yancy? Very limited. And another one could be like, wait, me? How can I be inspiring? Can't be inspiring. Yeah, I noticed that Patrick also shared in here that I have to feel good so I can feel inspired. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good story. You have to feel good to feel inspired. The past, so boring. Definitely, that's a good one. Oh, Darlene also mentioned I don't follow through when I'm inspired. Yeah, those are definitely Oh, Gina, that's a good one. I'm too tired. I'm too tired to feel inspired. That's definitely a good one. So as you can see, like when we dive into all these old stories, it's not fun. You know, I mean, like I'm just laughing at this, especially like with what Deb just posted too. It's like I'm too stressed or too busy. All that stuff is not fun. So what I'd like to do is I'd like for us to create lots of fun tonight. So perhaps like we can start off with like creating a new story for us, like a group story for this evening. So this morning while I was meditating, one of the things that bubbled up for me is a mantra that I'd like to share with you. And I'd like for it to be our intention for our call tonight in creating this new fun story and a new fun experience with inspiration. So the mantra goes, our creative expressions are a source of inspiration that fuels creativity for ourselves and individuals around us. And I'd invite you to really breathe into that mantra. Breathe into our intention of our creative expressions are a source of inspiration that fuels creativity for ourselves and the individuals around us. All 35 of us in this room know that our creative expressions are a source of inspiration that fuels creativity for ourselves and for the individuals around us. So let's get started. I invite you all to think of something or someone that recently inspired you. Okay? Perhaps, again, something that you've read, something that you've watched, lots of memes and beautiful quotes right now on Instagram that I'm seeing with the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You know, it's really yummy. So again, tune into that. Think of something that you recently read or something that you watch or listen to. Perhaps it might have been a podcast for you, Nini or Cheryl. Or something that you've witnessed while you were running an errand or when you're talking to a friend. And I invite you to tune into your body. How's your breath? Are you holding your breath, or does it feel pleasurable to you as you tune in to that beautiful source of inspiration? And what are you currently experiencing right now? Any body sensations? And if you are, where in your body are you experiencing the sensations? Perhaps your heart, your stomach. I feel it a lot in my stomach when I feel inspired. And also definitely my face. You know, when I feel inspired, I tend to smile really big. Yeah. And I also invite you to place your hand to the parts of your body or the parts of your body where you are currently experiencing these beautiful sensations. And just allow them to be part of your experience at this present moment. Yeah. Yeah, Darlene says that she feels this bubbly energy around her arms. Yeah, love that. Yeah, plus does it have a sound? You know, when I feel inspired, I always make up a sound, you know, like the, yeah. Oh, that's so cute. It's one of my favorite ones. Oh, yeah. And I also get giggly too. Yeah. Yeah, just tune into that. So what we've experienced here right now is that, you know, as you can see, inspiration is definitely energy. And inspirations are forms of energy. And as you know about energy, energy wants to move. It needs to move. So for the next few steps, I invite you to create some space around you. You can stay seated if you'd like, or you can stand up. You know? And as you do this, I invite you to think about your inspiration. Okay? You can close your eyes if you'd like. This is a judgment-free zone. I invite you to make some sounds that really feel delicious to you. Could be like the or the yeah. Yep. Okay, I see some of you moving. I see Elizabeth wiggling her fingers. Yeah, great. Do that more. Yep. Move your arms. I see Alice moving her arms right there. Yep. I see Cindy, Gina, and Damiana standing up, moving around, wiggling. You know. Yeah. I invite you to bodify what you're currently experiencing right now. And for those of you who don't know what bodify means, bodifying is like playing charades, okay? So I'd like for you to describe what you're currently experiencing using your body gestures. You're trying to describe to someone, hey, this is what I'm experiencing right now, and having them pick, like, you know, like get what it is that you're doing. I see Deb bubbling over there. Darlene doing like, ah, yeah. And also notice your breathing. Right? So like, notice your breathing. Yeah. See Nancy wiggling her neck. Yeah. Ooh, I felt my neck pop. Yeah. You can see, like, as humans, we are energy. You know? If you look at it on a cellular level, we have the nucleus and the mitochondria, lots of energy flowing through us every day on a constant basis. And definitely like our organs, you know, like the heart. Oh my gosh, I love my heart and how my heart just like pumps blood all day long without me not even like asking it to pump. And also I invite you to try on what other people are doing and see how that feels for you. Yeah. See Yancey spreading his arms. I see Nicole. I see you, Nicole. I would like to try that, however, not as flexible as you. Yeah, so now I invite you to ask yourselves, are you willing to keep this energy flowing? You know, or perhaps, you know, like an old story can come up. One of my favorite old stories that come up for me usually is that, okay, that felt good. That was fun. Now let me distract myself with something else that so I can totally ignore or limit my, you know, myself from experiencing so much fun. You know, I notice myself doing that when I'm like on Facebook or on Instagram, like, oh, I read something really fun. Oh, that's really pretty. Okay, now let me distract myself with something else. So, yeah. And also, are you willing to create a new story? Are you willing to create a new story tonight? And if you're willing, then let's move on to the next step. Yeah, thumbs up. Great. So, yeah, like how are y'all feeling right now? Groovy, flowy? Oh, I see some hand claps. Oh, there you go. I love that. So like now I invite you to ask yourself, what is one simple and pleasurable thing I can do to keep my flow going? Like what's one simple and pleasurable thing you can do to keep your flow going? Okay. I noticed some of you froze a little bit or holding your breath. Yeah, did you get scared? Sometimes I do get scared. And when you do feel if you do notice yourself like getting scared, I invite you to move around like what you were just doing a few minutes ago. Move around. If you feel like you froze, do what Elizabeth was doing. She was wiggling her fingers. Yeah, wiggle your toes. If you feel like you just want to run away or flee from this whole thing, you know, feel your feet planted to the ground. Feel yourself, present yourself. And if you feel like you want to fight, you know, imagine yourself like this beautiful seaweed in the ocean, moving with the waves, or like hot fudge on a Sunday, how it's just oozing down. I'm a caramel guy myself, so I love caramel. Or you feel like you're about to pass out, put some loving attention to that spot. I notice that myself, like when I do feel scared, I hit, like it hits my heart or my chest. So I invite you to put some loving attention to that part. So what we're doing now is that we're creating, like I'm sharing with you like fear melters. And there are 4 types of fear. Freeze. So when you feel like you're scared or you're frozen, all you have to do is wiggle. Notice how you create more space for yourself when you wiggle. And when you want to run away, imagine yourself like a sumo wrestler, like, no, I am not going to be moved. And if you want to fight or you feel like you're just like, ugh, no, not gonna do this. You know, it's kind of hard to fight when you're like oozing like a seaweed. I've never seen like seaweed or hot fudge sundae fighting the nuts to like, hey, I taste better than you. And if you feel like you're about to pass out again, the faint part is another fear signature. So just give yourself some loving attention. It's called love scoops. Scoop up some love. I love to give myself love scoops on my head. Yeah. Yep. I also like to do love lotion too. It's one of my favorite love scoops. So again, let's go back to your question. Okay, what's one simple thing that you can do that feels pleasurable and fun? Okay, as you move around, think of like what's one simple thing that you can do that feels very pleasurable and fun. And you don't have to solve world hunger, number one. And if you do, if you have to come up with a solution, great. I want to know. You know, like perhaps, like for me, like I've been so inspired with social justice and Black Lives Matter. So what's one simple thing I can do? Well, I choose to support local Black-owned businesses and share Black Lives Matter on Facebook or Instagram. And again, with the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, perhaps, you know, you might want to write a poem or a letter to her and how she's inspired you. And also like with this mass consumption that's taking place right now, you know, like I recently I'm growing my own vegetables in my backyard. So that way I get to choose how much vegetables I get to actually consume. Perhaps you might want to write a song or make art or write some music or dance. I love to dance. That's how I get my juices flowing in the morning. So, and if you do have your one simple thing that you can do that feels pleasurable and fun, I invite you to go ahead and raise your hand. I see Lillian, I see Kay, I see you, Pamela, Yancy, Nancy, Alice, Sarah, Patrick, I see you all. Okay. If you want to, you can also, you know, raise the roof with a little like, whoop, whoop. Oh yeah. Yeah. So the next action step would be, okay, now that you have this item that you want to go, like, you know, that you're going to do, that feels very pleasurable and fun for you, when are you going to do it? You know, you're going to do it after the call, tomorrow, next week, a year from now. And I noticed some of you got scared and you stopped moving. So if you got scared again, feel free to add some fear melters. I see Elizabeth doing some movement. Yeah, I invite you to move around and let the energy flow. You know, go ahead and ooze. Yeah, some love scoops. That's my favorite one, love scoops. And one thing that I've learned too is that the sooner that you do it, the greater the impact. So if you decide that you're gonna do it tonight, right after this call, boom, that's like awesome impact. If you wait tomorrow, yeah, it's still good. It's good. If you wait a week from now, yeah, okay, maybe not. If you wait a year from now, you might as well not do it, because if you're gonna wait an entire year to do it, might as well not do it. So again, the sooner you do it, the greater the impact. So what we've done here tonight is that we've discovered that inspirations are the keys that unlocks the doors to our infinite wellspring of creative and infinite possibilities. And also, how willing are you to dance and be with the flow of energy and also create a new dance move that inspires you? I see Damiana, Cindy, and Gina over there moving around. I love that. Yeah, so like, how willing are you to dance, you know, and allow you know, allow yourself to really be in flow with the energy that you're experiencing, and then create a new dance for you that inspires you. And also become the source of inspiration, not just for yourself, but for other people around you. Just like when I see Damiana, Cindy, and Gina, looking at them, I feel inspired to, okay, I'm going to move more. I'm choosing starting tomorrow to spend 5 minutes every hour doing some form of movement. You know, perhaps dancing to one of my favorite songs. I'm a huge Miley Cyrus fan. Do not judge me. I love Miley Cyrus. Party in the USA is my jam. So perhaps, doing something like that. And also, like, what are your new stories? Like, how are you with your relationship with your old stories? Like, I'm too busy. There's not enough time to feel inspired or do something inspiring. So I'm kind of curious to see, like, what are the new stories that you're making up, And I feel like that now is a time for us as a collective for now is a time for us to be this collective group of magical beings to go boldly and create love and inspiration on earth. And one of my favorite things, I actually have a few favorite things that I'd like to share with you, where I get my Jesus flowing when it comes to inspiration. Let me open this up here. So there are 3 things that I know Oprah has like her favorite things. Well, Glenn has his favorite things. What happens to be a joyful pause. Beautifully written. Can you all see this? Yes, thumbs up. Can you see the slide? Okay, great. One of them happens to be this beautiful book that my friend, Nicole Taylor, who also happens to be my Ayurvedic guru, she wrote this beautiful book called The Joyful Pause, 52 Ways to Love Life. If you are interested in this, you can purchase it online via bookshop.org. You can also visit ajoyfulpause.com. And as a reminder, if you are interested in also participating in the Foundation's new Mighty Network, when you put in your name and your email address and you share it with Michelle or with us of the group tonight, your name will be entered in a drawing for a free book, courtesy of moi. What I love about this book is that there are 52 ways, again, it's like one a week that you can do for an entire year. So something to do for yourself. One of my favorite activities, I actually have 3 favorite activities here. One is to pick my favorite song and dance and have a dance party by myself. I love to dance. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see me dancing all the time. And also the other one too is taking another pause to see the world through your beauty glasses. Beauty glasses. So when work becomes very serious, I tend to put on these glasses and respond to emails or problems that I have with clients or whatever it is, or if there's a solution that feels just very sticky and very like, I like to put these glasses on. So I think for the remainder of the class, I'm gonna put these on. And the other one too, like what my other favorite activity from Nicole's book is saying no to activities and people that do not support my beauty, like my beautiful essence. I just say no. No, 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 no. And also what I love about the Integrity Deck is that the Integrity Deck, it allows me to presence myself, to really come back to me and to really honor what it is that I'm experiencing at this present moment. And what is it that I want to create? And again, if you're on Instagram, check out the Big Leap Homes Instagram page. There are a lot of beautiful inspirational memes and videos and photos in there too. So feel free to join. And the website, or the Instagram page is at Big Leap Home. So I invite you all to check it out. So that is our presentation. That's my class this evening, my presentation. And so what I'd like to do is I would like to go ahead and invite you all to ask questions. I would love to hear feedback. I would love to hear your experience. I see we have a few people over there creating some glasses, I think. So yeah, I'd like to just go ahead and open up the room for questions and feedback. You can either go ahead and raise your hand.
Free to unmute yourselves and jump on in. Love to hear what you've experienced, or any discoveries, any things that you've appreciated, any aha moments.
There's a question from Nicole. How do you find inspiration when things feel heavy? Ooh, that's a great question. One of the things that I like to do first, Nicole, is one, allowing myself to feel that, hey, I'm feeling very heavy at this present moment. So the more I tune in and allow myself to acknowledge that I'm feeling heavy, that becomes a door to like, okay, great. I feel more spacious being able to vocalize that. And also what I like to do too is bodify, like what we did. Bodify, like what feels heavy? And I notice that the more I start moving, because heavy feels like, okay, like I fainted, right? So giving yourself the love scoops, adding the fear, doing the fear melters, and then moving around, that gets my energy going. Yeah, definitely moving around. Just like, we're energy. We need to experience, and we need that in our lives. So thank you for that question. And then Olivia B mentioned, been doing home improvement with my hubby, making our home a happy home together. That inspires both of us, especially more time at home. Yeah. I love, Olivia, I love the fact that you shared that you are doing home improvements with your buddy and how fun it is. Like for me, the more I connect with other people and do things together, that to me is very inspirational because I get to experience what their skills are. So I'm sure the story that I'm making up is when you see your husband working, he probably feels hot, like, ooh, yeah, let's do some home improvement, wearing the tool belt and all, like, yeah, I see a thumbs up. Great. And I'm sure that the more you do that, the more story that I'm making up to is that you probably feel more inspired to do more home improvement, and the more you want to work together and do things together. So I invite you to keep doing what you're doing and make it even bigger and grander. Thank you for that question. And then Ray Ward says, could you share ways to you find joy when things feel difficult? Ooh, yeah. So goes back to kind of like what Nicole asked. Definitely, I move around, and I immediately choose something that I want to do. So it's easy to I know that it's easy for us to for myself. I know that it's easy for myself to really to dwell into oh, this is so difficult right now. So I create a new shift for myself. Okay, what's one simple thing that's very pleasurable right now? So my go-to, dance. I turn on the music and I just start dancing away. And pick something that I really like, not just like a random song from Spotify or from Apple Music. Pick something that's really delicious for you. All right, what else is here? Darlene, I enjoy the atmosphere you've created here. Oh, thank you, Darlene. I also enjoy you adding your deliciousness into the container. So this is our atmosphere that we've created tonight. Yeah.
And Glenn, I think Lillian had her hand raised. I know she put a chat in, but we'd love to hear her voice.
All right, Lillian. Hi.
Well, Glenn, I just love how you created community right from the beginning. Like I just felt the energy that you kept bringing us together, and I really enjoyed that. And your enthusiasm and spirit is very, it's joyful, it's inspiring. So thank you.
Thank you for that, Lillian. And I appreciate each and every one of you because I experience people, I experience us as energy. So the more I loop in and connect with each and every one of you online tonight, the more it fuels me up too. So thank you. All right, do we have any other questions? All right. Pamela says, Glenn, we can feel your positive vibes through the screen. Thank you. And I can feel all of your beautiful positive vibes online too. So thank you.
Question.
Hi, Gina.
Hi. How does, okay, I'll just speak for myself. Pace is key for me in inspiration. And when I'm going too fast, how do you put pace with your inspiration?
Yeah, so, like everything has its own pace, right? So when I'm going too fast, I play with something that's completely opposite. I would go really slow, as if it's very uncomfortable. And then I would go really fast again, and I would go really slow. Until I can get like the good, flow of like, okay, this is actually my pace right now. Yeah.
What about when you're driving?
What's that?
You do that when you're driving too?
I park and then I play. I do not want to be in the 7 o'clock news with people, crazy guy going really slow while driving on the 405 freeway, creating massive traffic at 405 freeway. That wouldn't be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not.
Yeah, no, let's not. Also, there's a question that Ray stated, like how do you set healthy boundaries that respect your muchness? Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, because oftentimes, I know that I've experienced in the past, like, oh God, I'm too much. I make too many faces and I talk too much, or I'm too happy, or sometimes I'm too sad. So ultimately, like what I like to do is I like to tune into myself. What am I presently experiencing at this present moment? And if I want to be too much, dancing to Miley Cyrus 10 times, right? And Mike's probably like, oh God, how many times did we have to listen to this song? That's a story that I'm making up. Then you know what? I'm gonna dance. One of the many things that I've that I've learned from Katie and Gay Hendricks is that the cost of being inauthentic is far greater than the cost of wanting to belong. That oftentimes when I override myself because I want to please other people, so that way other people would think that, oh yeah, you can be part of our group because you're not too much right now, or you're very palatable for us. Yeah, that's a big no-no for me. And again, tune into your body too. What is are you making a decision with your head or your mind, or are you allowing your body to let the energy flow? So if you are wanting to experience your muchness, I invite you to experience your muchness and be as big as you can. Because you know what? Walt Whitman says, I am large and I contain multitudes. I am vast and I contain multitudes. Yeah, I see Elizabeth going woo woo on that one. Yeah. Yep. All right. Any other questions?
Well, I just have a comment. When you're talking about inspiration, I was thinking about Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic. I don't know if you've read it, but she's talking about creativity and how like you need to create to express yourself, but not everything that you create is going to be amazing. But you just need to create to be able to get it out. So I think part of the thing about inspiration is letting yourself be inspired and not critiquing what the product is.
Yeah.
And just being like, okay, I did that, cool. Maybe it's not the best, that's cool, set it aside. Let's keep creating. Let's create something more.
I love that, Elizabeth. Like when, to me, that what you just shared right now, like the criticizing part is definitely like an old story. It's like an old story, like this limiting thing, like, oh, I can't be inspirational. Who am I to think that I'm inspirational? And like what I love too is that the more we connect with what you shared, like, this is what I'm feeling right now, and I'm just gonna let it ride the wave. Am I gonna grab my surfboard and I'm gonna ride this? Am I choosing to ride this wave, or do I want to like just jump off? So I think that the whole criticizing creates like this limiting idea or this limiting feeling. And as energy is energy. To just allow ourselves to experience and be with energy. So thank you for that. I'm gonna add that to my list of books to read. Yeah, thanks. Any other questions? Oh, Deb, you also mentioned that criticizing is a way I keep myself small. Yeah, do you want to share more? Tell me more about that.
Oh yeah, just kind of echoing what was shared there is like, it's a reliable way, you know, old story, to criticize or judge myself. And then I get to stay in my safe space of playing really small. And yeah, it's not that joyful. Don't recommend it.
Yeah, and when you're small and like making yourself so small and compacted, there's no movement. So the first thing that, the first sign that I always look at is like, ooh, where's my breath? And then 2, am I frozen? Or have I passed out? Because, you know, if you look at the ocean with the waves coming, it's like sometimes waves can knock you out, you know, but you're choosing to get up and be like, whoa, that was a wave. Let's see what's coming up. This is what I've learned from this. This is how I've experienced this. Or you'd be like, peace out, I'm out of here. Done. Yeah. Alice, you mentioned I try to look at things the way a child would. Would you like to tell us more about that?
Yeah, I think one incident that came to mind was when I took my eldest daughter on a transatlantic flight, which was a very long flight, 9 hours, and we were in baggage claim, and she could not have been more than 4. And we were standing there waiting for the luggage to come out on the conveyor belt, and everybody's jet lagged, so wrecked, right? And just want to go home. And it starts moving, and she's never seen this before, and she's so excited and gregariously going, wow, look at this. And she caused such a crowd, you know, to start looking, what is she looking at? And then they realized she's looking at this conveyor belt bringing out our luggage for us. Everybody turned around and said, gosh, it is kind of cool that that happens. And so we all kind of went much more energized from her experience of it. So I always think of that and think, gosh, how else can I experience that?
Yeah, I love that invitation. So now I feel very inspired by your sharing. So when things come my way, I'd be like, woo, 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 moving forward. So I'm adding that to the list of experiences. Thank you, Alice. All right. Lillian also mentioned that connection is inspiring. Yes, definitely connection is inspiring. You know, as you can look at energy, energy flows, and there's beautiful weaving and connection when energy meets another form of energy. So definitely inspiring. Vandana also shares, I find having a balance between experience and expression helps with my balance. Ooh. Would you like to share more, Vandana, on that one? Are you on the call? Yeah, you're on the call. There's Vandana.
Hey. Good to see you. Yeah, I think it's just something that I learned from Katie, that if I go too much in one direction, then that kind of, you know, if I've had a lot of experience or an intense experience or a lot of emotion that I've experienced, then just expressing however that looks like. So I love, was it Elizabeth that was talking about Liz Gilbert's Big Magic book? I love that book, and I got so much from that. And it's just about expression. You know, I can judge myself, but the expression is just expression. So, you know, whatever that looks like. So that works for me. I'm not an artist. I will never be an artist. So just dancing. I love the dancing. So yeah, thanks.
And you do have good moves, Vandana. I've seen your dance moves before.
Oh, well, coming from you, that is a real compliment. Okay.
Thank you, Vandana. Yeah. Let's see here. I also see Monica. Says I have a question of sorts. Monica, are you still on?
Hi. Yes.
Hi.
So I was thinking there's, two different, almost like two different things that we're talking about here. One is inspiration for life, and how do we kind of bring that generative feeling, permeate all aspects of our life with that, inspired feeling. And then there is inspiration for projects, especially, projects. I'm thinking of like projects that require sustained effort and time and dedication, right? And I was thinking like how for the second kind, I mean, dance is a big way for me, has been a big way also for me to release. And right now it feels like a lot of, because so much of our lives are just directed via screen, and everything is kind of, all these connections, even like the experience of embodiment is being percolated via the screen. It's sort of like a really interesting experience. But I wanted to ask, I wanted you to talk a little bit more about sustaining inspiration for projects that require you to come back to it again and again and again a little bit.
Yeah. So I really love your what you've shared, because like for me, moving is it's a source of like inspiration for myself. And I get what you're saying. It's like everything is very linear. It's like boom, 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 boom. Like projects is like, okay, I gotta focus on this thing, gotta focus on that. So when I notice myself like being, I like to add fun to it. I own an insurance business. So with this whole COVID thing happening, there's so many projects that needed to get done, of like, I got to respond to my clients. I got to let them know that this is what the insurance companies are not going to do. This is what the insurance companies are going to do, and all that stuff. So usually what happens for me is like, okay, one, noticing what happened to my breath. Two, am I feeling frozen and stuck? So usually what I do is I add like an aspect of like, what could be really fun right now? Perfect example would be like, you mentioned you like to dance. Perhaps putting like a 2-minute song and start like dancing to it and feeling into like, okay, these are the things that are happening right now. Things are the things that I want to do. How can I let my dancing or this movement or this feeling of inspiration dance with the whole project or, things that I need to do? And then I keep adding more to it. Like I have these fun glasses that I wear. I have multiple hats that I wear too. Sometimes I have like this crazy hat that I'm typing, or I would bring I have like a dragon puppet. His name is Pete. So sometimes I would let Pete do the talking, like, this is what I would respond to the client. So, just adding little things like that, to me, it generates more fun. And it also allows my beautiful essence to be infused with whatever task I'm wanting to do. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I might have to get a pair of glasses.
Yeah, totally. One of the things that I like to do too is that if you look at an airport, like before when I used to travel a lot, when you look at an airport, there's always something so linear, like when you get in line, you hand them your ID or your passport or your ticket, you go through a line and you walk towards the gate, all in one line. When you get to the gate, you pass the gate, you go through the tunnel. From the tunnel, you enter the airplane. And within the airplane, there's also this linear. And then you also go into your aisle where your seat is at. So everything's like boom, 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 linear, linear, linear. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to prance around and dance while I'm like moving around to the airport. And that just breaks up like the linear part. It allows me to really occupy my space and to create more fun for myself and make flying enjoyable. There are times that Mike's my husband and he's part of the call. There are times that he jokes around and he says, I'm so glad that we're not standing right next to each other, because here you are like dancing, through like at the airport or dancing at the grocery store or doing something. So I think, the key part is really infusing your beautiful essence, and how can you add in your flavor of creativity, your beautiful creative expression into what it is that you're, like what task that you're wanting to accomplish. And plus it makes the task, like completing the task, a lot more fun, And then after that too, choosing to celebrate. Like, okay, I completed this task, I had fun, now I'm choosing to celebrate. So pick one thing that you like to do in celebration of what you've just accomplished. And again, it doesn't have to be something really big like solving world hunger. Perhaps it could be like, you know what, I'm gonna go and get my favorite scoop of ice cream. Or I'm gonna go take a bubble bath with a glass of wine and listening to my favorite, soft music with candles and beautiful scents everywhere. So, yep, great. That was a great question. Thanks, Monica. All right, any other questions? Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining in this evening. I feel so inspired that I got to experience each and every one of you in our call tonight. One of my many geniuses is I love experiencing other people's beautiful essence, and I like to try them on for myself so that way I can also experience like the beauty that resides all within you.
Oh, Glenn, what fun. Mwah, mwah. So appreciating this whole night, just listening to you and feeling your easy, joyful vibration. It's just been like super bubbly for me. I really appreciate you. And so feel free to unmute yourself to say goodbye, and thank you so much for being with us.
Bye, Glenn. Bye.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.